Intermittent fasting is going to reduce inflammation, right? It's going to improve the glucose and insulin levels in your body. Hey baddie, it's your girl Bevy with Hair Scripts, and let's just jump right into the topic. And this is how intermittent fasting changed my life. It improved my overall health. I lost a crap ton of weight, okay? And just when I tell you the anti-aging benefits, all of that. Now, listen, I am not a doctor, a scientist, none of those things. So this is gonna I'm gonna translate as best as I can and just kind of make it my own. But let me tell you, if you need to find the GOAT when it comes to all things intermittent fasting for women, okay? Because when I started my journey, I was listening to a whole bunch of intermittent fasting people, but they were men. And you know, what I've learned now after doing this first of all, it's a lifestyle change for me, right? So I am not going to turn back, right? And it gets better, it gets different. I mean, I can't explain it. Like, I'm going to try, bear with me, because sometimes I could get caught up and lose my whole point. So I'm going to try to break this down as best as I can, just explaining my own story and really try to talk to you about the benefits and all the other different things. But at the end of the day, intermittent fasting is a lifestyle change. It's not something that you do really quickly. It's not a fad. It's not a weight loss thing, even though weight loss is one of the many, 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 many benefits, okay? So let's jump right into it. Now, I know we always talk about hair loss and hair growth on this channel, but don't be fooled. This is all about leveling up, being a better baddie, improving. And let me explain, and then we'll jump into the topic. When I always call us baddies, I know baddie is a term that you'll hear, like, you know, millennial, well, Gen Zers use, whatever. But what I'm trying to say is, listen, I'm no spring chicken, honey, okay? I'm closer to 40 than anything else. And yes, I know it doesn't look that way. Exactly. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is leveling up in this case on this channel is about improving your overall health as a woman, how to stay healthy, how to stay fit, and also just how to make sure that you look your baddest and your best, okay? At any age. Like, I'm sorry, but I wish a 20-something would. I love y'all too, though, because I know y'all watch. Anyway, y'all want to be this bad when y'all this old, okay? I'm just saying. So now let's just jump into it. So I have a story on here about my hair loss and all of that, but overall my health was just it was just in the trash, okay? It was in the trash, it was in the sewer, it was trash, garbage, basura. My health, okay? Now, we're not going to go into why. I mean, we can, yes. Why? Because I just didn't care, right? Coming out of your 20s, you know, when you get to just eat McDonald's and do whatever you want and you don't care, guess what?
What?
You know, it changes. As you get older, honey, that stuff will affect and impact you. And you take that for granted, okay? Not only that, but I wasn't fit, I wasn't working out, and I just had a ton of stress. I was dealing with a ton of stress, life problems, bad marriage, child, the gamut, okay? Hated my job, stress at work, and then you're not eating properly while you're working, you know, you're going to lunch and you're buying all these different crap, and my health was just in the trash can. And you think you're cute because you're slapping on loads of makeup on your terrible skin, right? And you're able to take pictures and you look good and you're like, all right, well, I'm cool. Hey, baddie, are you losing your hair? Yes, you are, because you're on this channel. Anyway, listen, if those hair oils, DIY treatments, and hair growth pills are not working to help you regrow or thicken your hair, hear me, you've tried everything and it does not work. Go ahead and join the Hair Scripts community and let us help you effectively regrow your hair by giving you access to proven methods that are backed by receipts, honey, and effective products that will give you impactful results for free $99, okay? Yes, I said it, free $99. We partner with dermatologists, trichologists, and other healthcare practitioners to bring you real solutions for your hair loss. And you don't even have to leave your home. So stop being lazy, okay? Stop struggling to figure this out. Quit playing sis and just click the link below to join the community and get your freebies before it ain't free no more. Don't say I ain't tell you. Bye. So fast forward, long story short, someone introduced me to intermittent fasting for weight loss. I've always struggled with my weight my entire life. I was always the fat kid, the fat sister. I was the fat person in my family, fat. And please, I don't say that in a bad way. I'm not saying it in a derogatory way. I'm just trying to explain my story, right? Anyway, long story short, I always struggle with my weight. I try to do everything to lose weight. So intermittent fasting was introduced to me to lose weight. That's what it was. It wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna do it for all the other reasons, which I didn't even know existed. At the time, it was like, just try this to lose weight. And I was over it because I tried everything. I yo-yoed up and down. And one thing about fad diets or those like crash diets, you should know. You should know. One thing about them is you're gonna lose weight fast, but when you rebound and gain it back, you're gonna gain that weight that you lost and then some. Let's just add 10 more, right? So every time I would go on those diets to hurry up and just lose like a shit ton of weight, mad weight, very quickly, I would then gain all that weight and then some, right? So, I mean, the yo-yoing was out of control. My fupa was fupa-ing, okay? Because I had my first kid as a teenager at 14. So I was a teen mom, okay? So I, at the age of 14, 15, had a fupa. You know, something that we're not supposed to really experience until we're older. Well, yeah, my skin stretched. I had stretch marks. I had the black spider ones, honey. Like my whole body just crashed. And then I had the audacity to have 3 more kids after that. And each time, just my body just, anyway. And you would think it's not bad, cool. But I know it was too much for me. Now, at this point, not only am I out of control with my weight, my acne is flaring up. Now I'm not just having adult acne. Now I'm having cystic acne, which is hormonal acne, right? Underneath the skin, you cannot pop it. There is no popping in the world, okay? There is not a pop that is gonna pop this thing, okay? Because it's underneath the skin, it is hormonal, okay? And I'm sure I have a video somewhere here about that. And then my hair started falling out and it was like, oh no, see, now all bets are off. You know, I always was chubby, okay? But I was a chubby, pretty girl with thick, long hair. And I ain't even got that no more, okay? If you don't know that story, this is not really about hair loss. Go check that hair loss story out. I already have it on this channel. So, intermittent fasting was introduced to me to lose weight. It was I wanna say it was the 16-8. Intermittent fasting, for those of, like, if you know what fasting is, it's when you're not eating, right? Intermittent fasting is when you don't eat you're cycling, you're not eating. So you're reducing the amount of time that you're eating, so that, not trying to get a little more scientific or too scientific, but it's like you're reducing the insulin spikes in your body. So let's talk about, and let me try to break it down a little bit more, okay? So intermittent fasting means to cycle between periods of eating, right? Either over the day or the week. The 16-8 means that you're limiting your eating for up to 8 hours, meaning you're eating for 8 hours and you have a window of 16 hours that you're fasting, okay? There's so many benefits to this, but let me give you an example. So an example of this would be, instead of eating breakfast, right? Because the old adage is that breakfast is the best meal of the day, right? A lot of people will tell you you need breakfast for energy, blah, 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 blah. I'm not here to argue that. I'm not here to debate that. I'm just telling you what worked for me, and I'm telling you why intermittent fasting worked for someone like me. But long story short, oh, by the way, I didn't mention I was pre-diabetic. I was deficient in vitamin K, which I didn't even know was a thing. Vitamin K, vitamin D, and of course, it's insulin resistant, which obviously because I was pre-diabetic. So I was heading towards diabetes, guys, which runs in my family. Now, coming back, I just wanted to lose weight though. Like, with all that being said, I just wanted to lose weight and my hair was falling out. So intermittent fasting, 16-8, right? The 16-8 version, which is the basic, and that's what everyone usually starts off with, is when you start eating at 12 p.m. per se, right? And then, you know, we already know how my math is, guys. So from 12, and you have 8 hours that you can eat. So I'm assuming that's 8 o'clock. From 12 to 8, you can eat, and then you're fasting, you know, you're not eating at all. That's what fasting is. So a breakfast is when you're breaking, right, your fast. So we naturally fast every single day when we're sleeping, right? When you eat breakfast, you're breaking your fast. So instead of breaking your fast at 9 o'clock or as soon as you wake up, whenever that is, you're waiting till 12 p.m., noon, whenever that is for you, depending on your time zone, to break that fast, okay? So that's how that works, okay? Now, the benefit of fasting is basically, there's so many. Let's just talk about a few of the benefits of fasting. So the number one benefit that we all know about is weight loss, right? And why? Well, let's just go with the obvious, right? You're not eating as much. You're reducing the insulin spikes in your body, right? So you're not introducing that much insulin that has to be either stored, right? Or is going to turn into fat in your body. So that's number one. Number two is because you're reducing the amount of time that the amounts of time that you eat, you can reduce overeating, right? Which for some people that may not be the case, because then when they do eat, they're overeating, but that's neither here nor there. If you're doing it correctly, you're not snacking, right? And you're allowing your body to use its own fat stores as energy. So it's burning off the fat because it's using it as energy. That's essentially what it's doing. So your body you're training your body to you're not just constantly eating carbs for energy. You're training your body to use its fat that's stored as energy, okay? And that's what you're doing. And so if you're someone who's pre-diabetic or diabetic, or, you have insulin resistance, meaning that your let's talk about insulin resistance really quickly, okay? Because insulin is a huge part here. It's a huge factor here. So I want to talk about insulin resistance. And I'm gonna read my notes. So when you eat carbs, they're broken down into glucose. They're moved into our bloodstream, and then they're basically transported into our cells. Insulin is a hormone that is responsible for moving the glucose from our bloodstream into our cells for energy. When you're insulin resistant, that means that hormone is less prone or less effective to performing its role. And the pancreas now is trying to create more insulin to combat this. And ultimately, less glucose is taken out of the bloodstream, which leads to high blood glucose levels, which can lead to a whole host of diabetes and more obvious weight gain, right? Because it's not doing your body is not doing what it's supposed to do. And again, the pancreas is like completely out of control, and it's just, right? So when you start to intermittent fast, you're not allowing the body to release, because every time you eat something, regardless of what that is, you spike your insulin. So now that's when, boom, you're starting that cycle, right? That whole cycle that I just explained, you're starting that. And if you're resistant, your body is not properly moving everything to where it needs to go so that it can store it into the cell. And it's just hanging around in your bloodstream, in your body. And it's just creating a host of issues, including inflammation and, of course, weight gain and possibly diabetes. So the benefit to intermittent fasting is that it reduces the inflammation, it improves your glucose and insulin levels. And listen, it leads to a whole broad spectrum of other things that it does because of this. There's so many different, and this is where I'm not going to get granular. I'm not going to split the hairs, because this is just a top level how this helped me. But when you reduce inflammation in your body, inflammation is the devil, okay? Inflammation has its benefits. An inflammatory response in general is there because there's something going on in your body, right? That is not supposed to happen, whether it's something that's entered your body, whether your body is reacting. Inflammation is really just there to kind of like protect your body, right? But that is a sign that something is happening. But while inflammation is happening, because it's trying to protect the main organs of your body, it's literally wreaking havoc in other areas. So inflammation within itself is supposed to protect your body. It's a sign that there is something happening in your body that shouldn't be. So the inflammation is trying to protect the most valuable parts of your body. And then obviously you have things that, and it's wreaking havoc everywhere else. So anyway, intermittent fasting is going to reduce inflammation, right? It's going to improve the glucose and insulin levels in your body. But then another thing that's going to happen, and this is where, not jumping into PCOS, but if you have PCOS, if you're in the spectrum of PCOS, it's going to also improve the estrogen levels in your ovarian function. If you don't know about all of that, go watch my PCOS video. PCOS is when you have cyst in your ovaries, right? It's a hormonal, it's a dysregulation in your hormonal system, in your hormonal body. You're creating more testosterone and a whole bunch of other stuff. I don't want to confuse you guys, which I think I am. So I'm just going to say it to you like this, right? Regardless of what's going on inside of your body, especially if it's derived from inflammation, or if there's if it's an inflammatory response, whether you're dealing with PCOS, which I am, if you're dealing with inflammation, if you're dealing with insulin resistance, if you're dealing with weight gain, if you're dealing with, there's so many different things that you are dealing with in your body that intermittent fasting helps to regulate. Intermittent fasting is going to regulate it, and there's so many pathways by which it does it. That is the most simplest way for me to explain it. There literally has to be an individual video on literally each one of these pathways, how it can improve weight, how it could improve insulin, how it could improve PCOS, how it can help you with anti-aging, right? There is literally a video out there on each and every one because there are so many benefits. But going back to my story, I lost like 30 pounds from intermittent fasting. And because I started with the 16-8, it was easy for me to do. I would wake up, I would be so busy taking my kids to school and living life. By the time it was noon, I didn't realize it. And then I would just go ahead and break my fast. I would break my fast. Now, there is a right way to break your fast. There's a wrong way. There's a whole bunch of different things. And again, I can't do that all in one video, right? But as I kept learning more about intermittent fasting and learning about the different types of fast, learning about how there's different fasts that can benefit different things. And I went from just starting 16-8, like I recommend most people do. You know, maybe you do a 16-8, you start at noon, right? You stop eating at 8, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 3 times or twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then you just do whatever the regular, you titrate up, you scale up, right? Don't go in doing this crazy every single day. Don't go ham. Please don't. If you listen, there's people that they want to go ham and they can, but I'm talking about sustainability. You want to titrate, right? You want to start at 16-8, maybe twice a week. And then when you feel like you've gotten comfortable and it's easy, add the 3rd day. Then you can add 5 days, rest on the weekends, right? And then once you've gotten to a point where that's really, really good, now you want to take that from 16-8 to 17 hours to 18 hours. Then you can start introducing 24-hour fasts and 36-hour fasts and 72. And it goes on, girls, guys, if you're listening. It goes on, okay? It goes on. And that's over time. That's not in 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I've been doing this almost 3 years, right? It's been 2.5. We're going into 3 years of me intermittent fasting. So I would like to call myself the GOAT, right? Like I've gotten to the point where like I literally can do an OMAD, which is a 1 meal a day, 24-hour fast, 36-hour fast, like easy, no problem. And sometimes when that gets too easy, then you have to cycle in and out, and that's a whole lot of confusion. Let me tell you what it did for me. At the end of the day, I lost almost 30 pounds, okay? It helped me improve my acne with everything else that I was doing. It helped me improve my health overall. It helped me improve my sight. Let me tell you something. I was wearing glasses, okay? My sight was deteriorating. After intermittent fasting, I don't have to wear glasses anymore. I still have them, and I may still use them, like maybe in the nighttime if there's glare, etc. And I think I have a video where I have them on, and I'm telling you, everything improved, okay? My nails started growing, my hair stopped falling because of the inflammation reduction, right, in my body. Now I did other things now to regrow my hair, but it was able to slow down the progression of hair loss that I had, okay? So I'm not going to say intermittent fasting made my hair grow. Actually, initially when you start, because it's such a stress response to your body, you will see more hair loss in the beginning. That is me being honest, because you're losing nutrients, and if you're not doing it correctly, you're not eating nutrient dense foods when you're fasting, all of that, you can lose it first. It's a shock to your system, and it can cause excessive shedding. But as your body regain homeostasis and it feels normal again, and this is not a shock to your system, it's become accustomed to it, then you're going to see that the shedding is going to improve significantly, because it's going to reduce that inflammation that is causing the shedding. But the most favorite thing that intermittent fasting did for me, besides losing weight, okay, the most important thing that it did for me was the anti-aging. I get this all the time that I don't look my age. I look like a kid. I look young, and I'm just looking younger and younger every day. That's because intermittent fasting, it literally releases a hormone. It activates a cell called autophagy that is basically cleaning up your cells. It's trashing all the trash cells, all the cells that are no good for your body. It's killing those cells, and it's allowing good cells and new cells to reproduce in your body while it's getting rid of all the trash. Like, let's call it the garbage man. And so everything that's responsible for, causing you to age, to deteriorate, all of that, it's boosting collagen, all of that is happening because of autophagy. I say that to say, don't get it twisted. I was looking older. My skin was just looking gray. I was starting to see the crow's feet. The stress was happening. Like, I'm telling you. And you're going to notice it first because you're looking at yourself in the mirror all the time. And I'm telling you, I could see like the opaqueness in my face. Like, it was just, and it was besides the acne and all of that. It was just, even when I lost weight, even when I started to lose weight initially, and my face like just looked weird. It was just that weird. I don't know if you ever seen people that lose a ton of weight and it could look weird at first. And it wasn't like hanging skin for me. It was literally just me. I just looked older. Like, I was aging, right? And I would wear a ton of makeup to cover it so it would be fine if I took a picture. But I knew what I was dealing with. And when I tell you, it's been reversing the clock for me, okay? It's been reversing the clock. When I tell you, the more I fast and the more stuff that I do, the more that I learn. Now I know exactly how to fast for anti-aging, because like I said, now once you become like a connoisseur at this, once you become acclimated with this and you dive deep into the lifestyle, you learn that you can manipulate your fast for the type of results that you want to get. So I know that the fast that I'm going to do if I'm trying to lose more weight, I'm going to do differently than the fast that I'm going to do if I want to maintain weight. It's going to be a different fast. If I want, anti-aging benefits, it's going to be a different fast. Right now I'm dealing with my hormones. If I want to balance my hormones, there's going to be a fast that I'm going to do if I want to balance my hormones, right? So it changes based on what objective I have, what goal I have, what I'm trying to accomplish. I start to focus my fast based on that. It is dope out here in these fasting streets, okay? Please, okay? If you never heard about it, I'm going to tell you where you can hear about it even more and in detail and in depth. To go online right now on these YouTube streets, her name is Mindy Pelz, Dr. Mindy Pelz. Maybe I'll link her down if I'm not lazy, but please, Dr. Mindy Pelz. That is where you're going to get all your intermittent fasting tea, honey. And she is going to show you how to do everything. I'm not sponsored. She don't know that I exist. She don't know my name. I'm just dropping the gem, because if it blessed me, let me pay it forward and let it bless everybody else. Don't say I ain't tell you. I started with Dr. Eric Berg. He's also really, really good. Yes, Dr. Eric Berg. He's the first person that I started with. And there was a whole bunch of in-betweens. But right now for me is Dr. Mindy Pelz, because she is going to tell you as a woman, whether you're in your 20s, whether you're premenopausal, perimenopausal, menopausal, postmenopausal, she's going to teach you how to fast for the best results for where you are at this stage of life and for the objectives and the goals that you have. That is my story. I know that I confused the hell out of y'all, and I ain't sorry. Because at the very end, all you gotta know, if you don't know nothing else, is that fasting changed the game for me, saved my life, made me the baddie that I am today. And I'm telling you right now, you'll be a fool if you're under the sound of my voice and you don't go check out those sites and start intermittent fasting for yourself. Or if you already are, take it up another level. Don't give up, because it's only gonna get better. That's my thing, okay? Love you, girls. Bye.